Good afternoon, Rumblers. I am your host, Tate Brown, here holding it down for Tim Pool. Unfortunately, the recovery, it's taken a little longer, so it'll be a little more Tatecast for the time being. I hope it's not a problem. If it is, I'm cooked, I guess. But give me a little time. Give me a little more time to operate. Tim will be back soon, I promise. And we got a great show for you today. I mean, quite frankly, this is a monster show. You're going to want to stick around anyway. We have some huge stories. The first one, we've seen it. We love it. The federalization of DC. We are nearby DC. And first of all, it's a very beautiful day out. Like a nice balmy low 80s right around our nation's capital. It is a great day. And it has been liberated with the National Guard. I've talked about this at length. And Trump is ready to expand this operation nationwide. We got some exciting news there. We're going to get into it. And believe it or not, this is crazy. The mayors of the cities that he wants to go into aren't too happy about it. I know. Crazy. Can you believe that? And we also have Kilmar Garcia. He got snatched. He's back in Baltimore. Finally, right? He's getting deported. I think he's trying to set the record for most deportations ever. Like all these countries are passing him around. No one wants him. He's getting deported everywhere, left and right. So you gotta get a record somehow, right? You gotta put your name in the history books in some way. So we'll get into that. Kilmar, he's back in the news. We also got in England, people are painting the English flag places, then they're hanging the English flag up on things. And that's racist. It's racist now. It's racist to be English, I guess. Just being English is racist. So that's crazy. We'll get into that. And finally, at the half-hour mark, we will be joined by the great Nick Sorter. Look, he's on the ground all the time. He's like Roadrunner, I saw him. I was at an event. I won't say which one, and I just saw him scurry behind me, and I was like, "Yo, Sorter!" And he's like, "What's up?" And he's just like, that dude just grinds. He's a grind guy. Grind set guy, just on the move at all times. It's a beautiful thing. So we can catch him and we can talk to him for 30 minutes. It's going to be fantastic. So get ready for that. And we, of course, have producer Surge in the cut, the great Surge.
What up, dude?
He might compete for Kilmar on deportation soon if he doesn't get some things sorted. So
I hope not.
No, we love Surge. He's an American patriot. So with that, let's get into it. But first, Cast Brew Coffee, the best coffee in the entire world. That's right. I'm saying it right here, right now. It is the best. Sue me, Starbucks or whoever would be upset about that. Let me walk you through this. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine you wake up, you got like 3 hours of sleep, right? These things happen. You had a rough night. I don't know. Maybe you're an Indian trucker, Maybe you're an Indian trucker, right? You moved to America and you didn't anticipate, having to follow traffic laws and all these sorts of things, having to put your turn signal on, stay in the lane, not crash into people. It gets stressful. Imagine put yourself in those shoes, right? You'd probably get a little tired. Wouldn't you, Serge? If you were an Indian trucker, you'd probably get a little tired trying to follow all these laws.
It's a lot of them, man. The reading's hard.
Yeah, the standards, you're not doing U-turns every left or right. You might need to get some Cast Brew. I'm just saying, this is maybe a bit of an unorthodox pitch, but I'm trying to paint a picture here. I'm trying to show that Cast Brew is versatile, can be for anyone and everyone. Not the criminal ones, but I'm just saying, so if you were tired, I would recommend, and you know what I'd recommend? I'd recommend Appalachian Nights. That's what I'd recommend. Maybe, I don't know, maybe that 4th of July special. I don't know. I think I'd go with Appalachian Nights. So if you're an Indian trucker and you're tired and you're just barely, keeping it between the lines, it's probably the case because you're from India. I would recommend getting you some Appalachian Nights. Head on over to castbrew.com. Get you some. We got some great other blends there. 2 weeks till Christmas. That's Phil's blend, if you're into that kind of thing. Josie's 1776 signature blend. I mean, there's a lot going on over there, okay? So head on over to castbrew.com. And more boards. We need more. Go to Boonies, shop.boonieshq.com. We have some new ones. Be gay or don't be gay. It's up to you, You can decide. You can decide whether to be gay or don't be gay. I think Milo would be thrilled with this. I think maybe we should have a chat with him because I think he would be thrilled to see that it is in fact a decision after all on Boonies HQ.com. You can decide. You can decide what you want to do. It's your life. We also have some other great boards. The Declaration of Independence. It's pretty good, right? Uncancelable. We've taken it back. We've uncanceled the Iron Cross. I guess this is what this is the logo of the independent skate brand. And they said it was racist and horrible if you used it. And Booney's has taken it, and we've declared war on cancel culture. So get you an uncancelable board to send a message to all these freaks. And we have some other great boards here. Just head on over to shop.boonieshq.com. Okay, get you a board. Come on, what are we doing here? Why do I have to sell this to you? This should be obvious. This should be obvious that you need a Boonies board. I digress. Let's get into the news from the post-millennial. Trump to mobilize National Guard across 19 states to aid law enforcement and ICE. Look at this quote right here. This is a great quote. I think Chicago will be our next, and then we'll help with New York. That's from President Trump. The Trump administration will be mobilizing 1,700 National Guard troops in 19 states across the country as part of a wider crackdown on crime, as well as illegal immigration. Let's read through it here. Plans for action are set to take place in Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Indiana, Iowa, Louisiana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Mexico, Ohio, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Virginia, and Wyoming. Like, name the states where there's not going to be this. I mean, come on, that's a lot of states there. There's a lot going on. The troops will be active in the states from August through mid-November, according to documents obtained by Fox News. This is some exciting stuff. The presence of the National Guard troops in these states will serve as a visual deterrent against crime. Will help in a sweeping effort to handle case management and the processing of illegal immigration. Or illegal immigrants in this case, sorry, gotta lock in. Quote, the in and out processing may include personal data collection, fingerprinting, DNA swabbing, and photographing of personnel in ICE custody, the officials told reporters. Hey, you gotta get some content for the Twitter. The ICE Twitter has been popping. The edits are really good. I don't know what Zoomer is behind it, but I love it. I can't get enough. So, yeah, get the photographing of personnel in ICE custody in there. That's gonna be good. This comes as Trump announced the deployment of National Guard troops in the Washington, D.C. area to curb criminality that has been taking place at high rates. On Friday, Trump also hinted that cities with high crime rates would face similar scenarios. I think Chicago will be our next, and then we'll help with New York, Trump said. Fantastic quote. Quote, we won't speculate on further operations, but can tell you that the department is a planning organization and continues to work and plan with other agency partners to protect federal assets and personnel, a DOD official told the outlet. This is from the Virginia National Guard. VNG personnel will not conduct law enforcement functions. VNG support will not be making direct arrests. They will report directly to ICE leadership at their assigned duty locations, but will remain under control and direction of the Virginia governor. Texas is projected to have the highest number of Guard troops. This is fantastic. I've been in and around D.C. this last week, and there's a noticeable difference. I mean, for one, like on the Capitol Mall, there's just like Humvees parked in the grass. Like, it's crazy. And you know, ordinarily you'd think that's a bad sign, but it's actually like feels great knowing that you can walk around the mall and not, freaking get jumped. So,
feel safe.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. And this has been great, honestly, for Capitol Hill staffers, because they're able to get a new assortment of pictures for their Hinge profiles in front of the Humvees. So this is kind of a double-pronged move here from the Trump admin, which is brilliant, in which they're cracking down on crime, first of all, which is fantastic. That's the priority. But they're also assisting with the birth rate, I would say. I think this indirectly affects the birth rate, because the Hinge profiles across the nation's capital are improving dramatically with the addition of pictures in front of Humvees. I mean, it's a tremendous thing. So I wouldn't be surprised. Trump did say he would like to see a lot of America 250 babies. He wants to see a lot of babies being born next summer. Yep. And I got to say, with the revamped Hinge profiles for Capitol Hill staffers, I think we very well could see a American baby boom next summer. We'll see, but great work from Trump. But unfortunately, there's coping and seething. I know, it's shocking, right? Mayor this is from NBC News, by the way. Mayor blasts Trump's threat to deploy National Guard to Chicago. Oh yeah, this guy. You remember this guy, Mayor Brandon Johnson?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How could I forget?
How could you forget? This guy is like the first person in history to have a negative approval rating, I'm pretty sure. I don't even know how you can do that. I think when they pollster calls you and you just scream and cuss them out, they like take 2 points off. I think that's what's going on. So this guy is like totally underwater. In all seriousness, he was at like a 7% approval rating, which is like,
Jeez.
I don't even know that happens. We'll read here from NBC News. Chicago's mayor is defying President Trump's threat to deploy the National Guard to the Windy City to combat crime and scoping out legal avenues to prevent soldiers from overtaking the city. He really, really likes the crime. He really wants to protect that. He's not happy about deterrence. So on Friday, Trump talked about his controversial deployment of the National Guard to Washington, D.C., and said Chicago and New York City would be next. He has described the deployment in the nation's capital as a bid to clean up crime. But critics dismiss the move as a little more than political overreach. As if we don't have story after story of people getting the tar beat out of them in D.C. and murders. There's people getting murdered, like innocent people. So no, that's not like a political overreach. It's called defending your citizens. I mean, that's what the government's supposed to do, is to like make sure that you're not getting thrown around. National security. It's like the no-brainer. So the critics that are dismissing, I would say I dismiss them. I would dismiss their criticism. What are you going to do about that? This is a quote from Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, the immensely popular Brandon Johnson with his sky-high 7% approval rating. Quote, "The Guard is not needed. This is not the role of our military. The brave men and women who signed up to serve our country did not sign up to occupy American cities." Have you ever met someone that signed up for the military in the last like 5 to 10? Have you met a Zoomer in the military, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Mayor Johnson? That's like their dream. That's their dream, is to,
real.
That like to occupy an American city. That's awesome. Like, I mean, we grew up playing Call of Duty. That's like what you do. That's like that's why you sign up.
Yeah.
To defend America. That's like the dream. What are you talking about? To not sign up to occupy American cities. First of all, it's not an occupation. Because, well, America occupies American cities, so there's no occupation occurring. Second of all, they're just like standing around. You know, it's not like they're, sweeping through the city doing crackdowns, although that's maybe not a bad idea. They're standing there. They're giving the police a break so the police can go and do their jobs. They don't have to be the one doing the deterrence. So, like, this is just a total overreaction. And second of all, like, trying to get into the mind of servicemen and women. Clearly, he's not spoken to any Zoomers in the military recently. No, they're like furious. They're patriots, and they're furious with the state of their country. No, they actually did sign up for stuff like this. So, especially the National Guard. So I don't know what this guy's deal is. This explains why he's at a 7% approval rating. I mean, geez, with this kind of insight. Johnson also noted the city's decline in murders, shootings, and car thefts. Chicago police data from earlier this month shows murders are down 31% from the same time last year. Shootings have dropped by 36%, and vehicle thefts are down 26%. Quote, "The things that we're doing in Chicago by investing in people, youth employment, mental health care, services, building more affordable homes, and making sure that our detectives bureau has all the resources that it needs. That's why we're seeing the results that we are experiencing right now." Here's another quote from him. "Occupying our cities with the military, that is not how we build safe and affordable communities." Well, that's not, I wouldn't really, when you're thinking about safe, when you're thinking about affordable, does Chicago come to mind? Maybe affordable these days. Does New York City come to mind? Certainly not. So, I mean, look, he's chest beating over, and I mean, who knows, right? I mean, this crime data, it's really hard to believe anymore because there's article after article of police commanders, fudging the numbers, moving a couple zeros around. So, I mean, who even knows, All you can do is you can just go to these cities. I mean, at this point, if you're skeptical of the crime data, all you have to do is just go to Chicago and see if you feel safe, right? It's very simple. It's just go with your gut. Walk around Chicago. I've been recently. Yeah, it'd be nice to have a few Humvees around. That's all I'll say. Johnson on Sunday further questioned why Trump slashed federal investments in violence prevention and reduced the budget for SNAP if he wanted to drive down violence in big cities. I mean, these people are like they can't get an Arizona tea and they murder someone. Is that is that what's going on here? I mean, you can't get your ho-ho, so you go and like slash someone on the train. I mean, is that
Vitamin water?
Yeah, you can't get your vitamin water, so you go and rob someone, carjack them. I mean, is that what's going on here? I mean, if that's the case, all right, let's bring back Snap. You know,
dude.
I mean, if people can't get their little Debbies and they start doing little murders, I mean. Okay, maybe it's time to bring back Snap, but I'm pretty skeptical that's what's going on.
Yeah.
I
EBT
think
rebellion.
Yeah, the EBT rebellion, the Snap Americans, as we've known to come to call them, they murder anyway, right? I don't think it's really dependent on when the last time they had a zebra cake was. So, yeah, I don't really know what Brandon Johnson's talking about here. I think it's coming into focus of why he's so deeply unpopular because he sounds like an idiot. So, anyway.
Sounds like an idiot.
Yeah, and he may be one. It's a speculation. I'm speculating, right? This is a live show. I don't want to get sued. I don't want to editorialize. This is a nonpartisan, neutral show. I'm a moderate, if anything. I'm a middle of the road, reasonable guy, and I think that he's a slack-jawed derelict. But that's just me. Let's go to the next story from News Nation. Uh-oh. Remember this name? Remember this guy? Remember this cat?
Yeah.
This cat.
KAG.
KAG. Yo. Again in ICE custody. Uh-oh. Files a new lawsuit. Oh, this is a little oopsie from Kilmar. Let's read. Kilmar Garcia was taken into custody Monday by immigration ICE and... was taken into custody Monday by ICE. I don't know why I read the whole thing out. In Baltimore, where when he appeared for a check-in with officials, his attorney said, Abrego Garcia, the Maryland man who was mistakenly deported to a high-security prison in El Salvador in March, filed a new lawsuit in the state's federal district court shortly after he was detained. Attorney Simon Sandoval Moschenberg, there's a lot going on there, said the habeas petition will challenge, quote, his current confinement and challenging his deportation to Uganda or any other country unless he's had a fair trial. I mean, he gets out of jail. He got deported already to a maximum security prison in El Salvador. The left goes to bat for him. It turns out he's like a Batman villain. Like he's beating people up and he's like, doing human trafficking and like all this. And so he's stuck in El Salvador. They get him back. Senator Van Hollen, Maryland man. He's going to go defend his constituent, the Maryland man. Heads down to El Salvador. They get like brunch together, have bottomless mimosas. It's honestly a beautiful thing. I was actually a bit envious of Abrego. That looked like a nice lunch. And then, it kind of goes out of focus. Oh, Abrego's back. He's back. Okay, he's in jail in Tennessee because he is, a serial criminal. He's hitting people and everything. He gets released. He shows up back to Maryland, his home, evidently. And he goes to Baltimore. First of all, Baltimore, I mean, your whole shtick is that it's too dangerous for you in El Salvador. That's your whole MO, right, Mr. Kilmar? You can't handle El Salvador. And he goes to Baltimore?
Of all places.
Of all places? I mean, I don't think there's many places that are more dangerous than Baltimore.
Yeah.
I mean, and your name's Kilmore? I mean, geez. A guy like that in Baltimore, and you're just asking for it. So I think he should be grateful he got picked. I think he might have turned himself in, honestly.
Yeah.
Because Baltimore's a scary place. There's people flying to El Salvador from Baltimore like, hey, can I get asylum here? I mean, this place is crazy. And then you got to watch the Ravens play football. They suck.
Oh, dude.
So, like, when it rains, it pours, really, over in Baltimore. And there's rats everywhere.
Mention those guys, yeah.
Yeah, we love Baltimore. There's some fantastic people from Baltimore. I just can't think of them right now. Anyway, Kilmar, he's in custody. And he's getting deported to Uganda. So it's like he threw a big fit about going back home to El Salvador because he's from El Salvador. And he was so mad about it. He made a big hissy fit, and the left, went to bat for him. It was a whole thing. And they say, fine. All right, you can come back. We're going to throw you in jail in Tennessee. And then he gets out of jail. His lawyer's doing a victory lap. His wife that he hits was like, ecstatic or whatever. And then 72 hours later, he's going to Uganda. I mean, he's getting thrown out of the country.
Yep.
And I mean, once again, I have to say it. I mean, considering the alternative is Baltimore, I mean, Uganda doesn't sound so bad.
No.
For being completely honest here. I mean, Uganda, it's a little rough.
So Ron did okay.
But, Zoran
Mamdani,
worked
great.
out for Zoran, There's a few, like Rishi Sunak's family's from Uganda. So, there's some success stories. Charlie XCX, I think, is half Indian Ugandan. The Indians in Uganda are doing quite well.
Quite well.
Idi Amin had something to say about that, unfortunately. But I won't go in. That's for another segment. We're going the intricacies of Ugandan politics. That's neither here nor there. ICE Secretary Kirsty Noem threw up this highlight reel. I actually, if you check out the segment, if you check out my segment today on Timcast News, I did cover this in depth. So if you want like an in-depth analysis, I'd recommend that. But Kirsty Noem threw up the highlight reel, right, of Kilmar. I mean, look at this. He's hanging out at Home Depot, doing drugs or whatever. He's found with rolls of cash and drugs, right, with 2 other members of MS-13. That doesn't sound like a little shindig down at the Home Depot. It sounds like something else was going on. That's according to the Prince George's County Police Gang Unit. And then you have him and THP, little road trip with the boys, like 9 of them packed into a car, and they all gave him the same address, and none of them had luggage, which, is the thing that happens, evidently. So that happened, and then you have his wife, who, this is why everyone's calling him a wife beater. They're not talking about his tank tops; they're talking about his wife that he allegedly beat. Jennifer Vasquez petitioned for an order of protection against him. She claimed he punched her, scratched her, and ripped off her shirt and bruised her. El Riz, you can't do that to women. That's not nice. We don't need that in America. So total basket case, this guy. So honestly, Uganda, just get him as far away from the country as possible. Uganda's a great idea. Costa Rica says they might be willing to receive him, according to News Nation. Like, who cares? Just get him out. He's here illegally. He's admitted he's here illegally. He's not a Maryland man. And if anything, when he goes to Uganda, he'll be a Uganda man, if that's the new standard. I mean, if he's in Maryland for 5 minutes, they call him a Maryland man. So yeah, he'll be a Uganda man in no time once he's off over there. I mean, that just makes perfect sense. And he barely speaks English. Evidently, I don't know if you saw the clip from Breitbart, but he barely even speaks English. He's been here for 10 years and barely speaks English. Evidently, I mean that alone is grounds for deportation, as far as I'm concerned, if you ask me. So, I mean, well, let's see if I can find. Oh, I don't have it. I don't have it. Sorry, everyone. There's a Breitbart. Breitbart had a clip on it today. It was really good. But anyway, a lot going on. It's getting wacky and wild out there. So stay safe. If you're in Baltimore, consider going to Uganda. That could be a potential solution. Anyway, we got one more story here before we bring in Nick Sorter. It's a great story. I love this story. You've probably seen it. This is from the Telegraph. This is a intense headline. Is this the beginning of the English Revolution? Recent demonstrations under the St. George's Cross revival, a country questioning who it is and who it wants to be. This is, I don't know if you've seen this. You've probably seen the clips. We'll take a look here. Well, I got a lot of tabs open here. But take a look at this. All across England. Come on, lads. Based, right? This is very based. Look at him. He's getting down and dirty. Everyone's honking. Everyone's loving it.
It's beautifying. It's beautifying the space, man.
Yeah, I mean, the roundabout looked like it was pretty rough before. So he's...
Oh, they just congratulating him?
I think they're hyping him up, which is rare.
What's this
Wow,
like?
very rare.
Hey?
Very cool.
Got to go
Very
over there
nice.
and have a chat.
So, I mean, this is great. In America, we have a flag culture. We put the flag everywhere. Even libs love, flying the American flag when it's convenient for them. England's a little different story. If you go to England, or really Europe, broadly speaking, it's very rare to see passionate displays of their national flag. The most you'll see is on a government building, and beyond that, you'll see like EU flags on the same thing. And in the UK, specifically England, flying the English flag is very rare.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see the Union Jack from time to time, which represents the United Kingdom, the political union of Scotland, England, Wales, Northern Ireland. You very rarely see someone fly the St. George's Cross, the English flag. And part of it is this sort of attempt to suffocate the English identity, to reduce the English identity from sort of a cultural and ethnic component to a transient one. They want to make the case that anyone can be English. You just show up. If Kilmar Garcia gets deported to England rather than Uganda, you'll be an Englishman within a few years. So the English flag, which is very rare to fly, is now seeing a revival, as the Telegraph points out. We'll read here. Usually displaying the flag signals loyalty. Today has become a sign of discontent. When local authorities remove our national flags because they are deemed dangerous, the point is emphatically underlined. We are the people of England, and we have not spoken yet. This is what G.K. Chesterton wrote in 1908. G.K. Chesterton's a great guy. He's a G. This is a very interesting movement, because England, it's like a full court press from these multinational organizations. England really does feel like it feels like a test subject for what they want to do in America in a lot of ways. Because there's this all-out attack on English identity specifically. Like, you'll see this thing. This was pointed out to me by a good friend of mine who's English, Curtis. Shout out Curtis. He pointed out that immigrants that go to England, they identify as British every single time. They always identify as British. True. But people of English extraction, English stock, ethnic English will always identify as English. They very rarely identify as British. So there's almost this new attempt to redefine the identity of people that live in England, and they want to reorient it to British, this vague, confederation, whatever. It's very fascinating to see this happening. And of course, people with very English names. I mean, this name is dripping. This makes you think that you're in a pub in the Cotswolds. This name is so English. Yeah. From Saida Warsi, right? Saida Warsi. Interesting lady. She was in the cabinet. She was a former cabinet minister. I know that about her.
Checks out.
Yeah, checks out. Here's what she had to say on the Guardian, what the Guardian dubbed the English, the St. George's Cross Revolution, potential revolution. From Saida, I'll read now. Born in Turkey, raised in Palestine, a foreigner who never visited our shores and who died for his belief in one God, a basic tenet of Islam and a fundamental belief of all the Abrahamic faiths. I mean, I feel like I got to repent just for reading that. That was so nasty. That was such a nasty characterization of our Lord Jesus Christ. St. George was canonized by a Catholic born in Tunisia, and is the patron saint of, amongst others, Ethiopia and Catalonia. St. George was a symbol of internationalism and multiculturalism.
No.
Hashtag raise the colors, good folk of my country, and celebrate our nation for the diverse melting pot that it is, in line with the great tradition of our patron saint, St. George. You hear that, folks? The St. George flag is now the official banner of internationalism and multiculturalism.
Wow.
I had to cleanse my palate after I read this. I frantically scurried over to Connor Tomlinson's Twitter feed. I said, please, he will correct this. I knew he had to have said something. I was like, there's no way. And thankfully, Connor has spoken up and, as always, distributed the correct take. And here's was his take. Curious that you attempt to the English while flying the flag of our own country, while engaging in a collective bargaining on behalf of Islam and the Ummah. Whatever that is.
It's like the nation of Islam, the people of...
Oh, right, right, yeah. Well, it's unfortunate that the English are, why should they even know what that means?
Exactly.
It's a national tragedy that they even know what that means.
Yep.
Anyway, bargaining on behalf of Islam and the Ummah. Your tribal contempt for the English is plain for all to see, and your presence in politics has been nothing but negative. Shout out to Connor, because I'm sure he probably wrote 10 to 12 giraffes in response, definitely. And this was the one that wouldn't get it put on a list. So this was a great take, as always. This really epitomizes the shift in strat from from these internationalists, as now they're trying to co-opt
some new tech.
Yeah, they're trying to co-opt right-wing themes. You're seeing it here. It's slightly different strat with Newsom, because Trump really embodies America in a lot of ways, for better or for worse. Typically for the better. And Gavin Newsom is trying to embody Trump's mannerisms and whatnot. And one sec. And so Gavin Newsom's emulating. And now you're seeing England, but slightly different. They're appealing more to the ethnic component. But thank you for watching this segment of Timcast News. We'll be back tonight for Timcast IRL at 8 p.m. And we have our interview with Nick Sorter coming up at 4 p.m. on the Culture War channel. So head on over and watch that. Thank you very much for watching.